Hello everyone, I am Dr. S.S. Kanmani, belongs to Department of Physics. Here I am interested in discussing about Geiger-Müller counter, an important detector in nuclear physics field. So this topic comes under a course name, Nuclear Physics. Here in this video lecture, I am going to describe about Geiger-Müller counter and comparison with other types of detectors. What is the principle used to begin Geiger-Müller counter and how it was constructed, and what is the working process behind this Geiger-Müller counter. So what is the Geiger-Müller operating region? So it is determined from the operating graph, and there is one important issue in this Geiger-Müller counter, so that can be rectified by means of an important factor called quenching. So what are the pros and cons related to Geiger-Müller counter, and finally where and all we can use this GM counter. So these are the things we are going to discuss in this video. Here, Geiger-Müller counter is one of the detector which is used to detect the amount of ionization radiation produced because of interaction with matter, or to measure the radiation dose, or to do both. So there are variety of detectors available, that is gas filled detectors and solid state detectors. So among gas filled detectors, ionization chamber, Wilson cloud chamber, diffusion cloud chamber, Geiger-Müller counters are there. So here we are interested in discussing about Geiger-Müller counter, because in all other detectors only the initial ionization radiations are taken into account, but in case of GM counter the secondary produced radiations are taken into consideration. So that plays an important role in discussing about Geiger-Müller counter. So here, why Geiger-Müller counter? So it is an instrument used for measuring ionization radiation. It detects ionization radiation such as alpha particles, beta particles, gamma rays using the ionization effect produced in a Geiger-Müller tube. So it is perhaps one of the world's best known radiation detection instruments. So here it is a gas filled counter. So GM counter amplification, so it is independent of initial ionization produced by the ionizing particle. So it is sometimes called as Geiger tube. So it is used for detecting and measuring ionization radiations. So it can count individual particles at rates up to about 10,000 numbers per second. So this is an important advantage of using Geiger-Müller counter. So it is widely used in medicine and prospecting for radioactive ores. So what is the principle used behind this Geiger-Müller counter? When an ionizing particle passes through the gas in an ionizing chamber, it produces a few ions. So if we apply potential difference, there is enough potential difference between these two electrodes, these ions will produce a secondary ion. That process is called avalanche. The total effect will be proportional to energy associated with the primary ionizing event. So this is the principle used in GM counter. So when we move into construction of GM counter, components of GM counters are metal tube, tungsten wire, mica windows, and the type of ionization radiations. So resistors. So these are the components. So how it was constructed? So it consists of a hollow metal case enclosed in a thin glass tube. So this hollow metal case acts as a cathode. So a fine tungsten wire is stretched along the axis of the tube, and it is insulated by ebonite plugs, because here ebonite is used as an insulation. This fine tungsten wire acts as a anode. So here we are having both a cathode as well as anode for applying voltages. So the tube is evacuated. So it is kept as vacuum, and then it is partially filled with a mixture of 90% of argon. Its atomic pressure is about 10 centimeter, and 10% of ethyl alcohol vapor, whose atomic pressure is about 1 centimeter. So atomic pressure of ethyl alcohol is less than argon. So this plays an important role during quenching process. Now the fine tungsten wire, which is connected to positive terminal of a high tension battery, that is connected through resistance R, and negative terminal is connected to metal tube. So this is high tension battery. So the direct current voltage is kept slightly less than that which it will cause a discharge between the electrodes. At one end of the tube, a thin mica window is arranged. So we all know very well. So we have to send the ionization radiation that is kept for analysis. So it is sent through this mica window. So when I move on to working part, the GM counter is a device used for detection and measure of all types of radiation, that is alpha, beta and gamma. So as we discussed already, it consists of pair of electrodes, cathode and anode, surrounded by suitable gases. So the electrodes have high applied voltage across them. So the gas which is used inside are argon or helium, inert gases. So the ions which are, when a radiation enters the tube, it can ionize the gas. This is general phenomena. So the ions are attracted to electrodes and electric current is produced inside this. So the counter which is placed at the end can count the current pulses wherever radiation ionizes the gases. So the tube is filled with argon gas and it applied voltage is around 400 volts. It is applied to thin wire in a middle, placed in a middle. When a particle arrives into the tube, it takes an electron from argon atom. So here an interesting phenomenon called avalanche will take place. That means the electron is attracted to the central wire because it is connected to positive terminal of the battery, and as it rushes towards the wire, the electron will knock out other electrons from orbital atoms. So one single incoming particle will cause many electrons to arrive at the wire, creating a pulse which can be amplified and counted. So it is a very sensitive detector. It can detect even a single incoming ionization radiations. So this is the operating graph behind this Geiger-Müller counter. So see, graph is plotted between applied voltage and count rate. So voltage is applied from lower value to very high value. And what happens to the count rate if we increase applied voltage? So you see this graph here, if we increase voltage up to 1000 volt, so after this 1000 volt, automatically count rate increases in proportionally. So if we increase applied voltage to 1010, so its count rate increases. If it is 1050, automatically count rate increases to other higher values. So it increases in a proportional way. So this 1000 volt is a threshold voltage. So below which the tube does not work. So it is of around several hundred volts. So after this, the number of pulses is proportional to the voltage. So that's why this region is called proportional region. So if we again increase the applied voltage, then the point will reach after which the count remains same. So we can see that constant count rate region. So that region is called plateau region or Geiger counter region or Geiger-Müller operation region. So this particular plateau region is an important part for GM counter operations. Okay. So further, if we increase the voltage to 1500 volts and above, so it takes continuous discharge region. That means the applied electric field is so high, so the tube becomes damaged. So continuous discharge takes place in a tube and the count rate increases very rapidly. So if it is increased very rapidly, we can't mean that it is not able to detect the exact ionization radiation that enter into our tube. So it does not require any ionization event to happen, so that the tube must not be used in this region. So from this operating graph, we can conclude that this plateau region is an important region used for GM counter operation. So up to which only we can use. After this, so tube may get damaged. So proper use of GM counter is very important. That is, appropriate voltage usage is essential. If it is too low, the electric field in tube is too weak to cause current pulse. If it is too high, it will create continuous discharge and the tube may get damaged. So that is the thing explained in this slide. So how we can calculate the efficiency of your GM counter? So it is defined as the ability of counting of a GM counter, otherwise ratio of observed counts per second to the number of ionizing particles entering the counter per second. So how much amount of radiation entered into the tube, in which how much it is counted after ionization. So that is the thing counter. So another form of counting efficiency calculation is eta is equal to 1 minus exponential of SPL. So this SPL indicates, S indicates specific ionization at 1 atmosphere, P is pressure in atmosphere, and L is the path length of the ionization particle travel inside our GM counter tube. Okay. So likewise, we can calculate counting efficiency. So next one is about quenching process. So the foremost issue behind this GM counter is quenching. So what happens here? When GM tube operates in Geiger region, automatically secondary electrons increases the current pulse by further ionization of gas molecules. So we know very well that in GM counter, each single pulse is produced because of the entry of single ionization particle. So the process of prohibiting this undesirable secondary pulses or multiple pulses is called as quenching. So we have to consider this quenching into our account. So how we can self-quench the GM counter? So for this purpose only, we are using different gases, that is alcohol, ethyl alcohol and argon. So along with this argon or helium, we are using ethyl alcohol also in some proportional ratio. So ionization potential of alcohol is 11.3 volt and it is less than argon, that is 15.7 volt. So once argon gas ion gets neutralized by transferring their charge to alcohol ions during their travel towards electron. So this causes no multiple pulsing and discharge is quenched soon after initial ionization. So it helps very well to count a single pulse due to entry of only single particle. So what are the merits and demerits behind this GM counter? So it counts alpha, beta, gamma particle as well as cosmic rays. So it shows very high sensitivity and the power supply need not be precisely regulated as the pulse height is maintained constant for a Geiger-Müller operation that we seen in the operating graph. So output pulse is very high, amplification needed is also very limited. So what are the demerits behind this? So even though it counts alpha, beta, gamma particles and cosmic rays, it is not able to detect what type of radiation is arriving to the GM counter tube. So it will not detect the type of radiation. It will count the radiation, but it will not detect the type of radiation. So it is not used to detect the following thing: neutron radiation, microwave radiation, radon gas, laser energy. So these types of radiations are not detected by using GM counter. That is one of the drawbacks. So where and all we can use this GM counter? So detection of radioactive rocks and minerals in course of mineral prospecting. Similarly, in nuclear power facility, we can check the environmental level of radioactivity. If it is more radioactive exposure, means it will create some damage to the environment. So we have to check that by means of GM counter. So to test for danger, admit a nuclear accident or leakage of radioactive coolant. To check for radioactive contamination of clothing and shoes in your workplace. If we work inside a nuclear radiative power stations and all, so we have to check our radioactive exposure of our clothes as well as other objects. To check possible leakage or exposure to X-rays in a medical facility. So if you are having a food, so we have to check whether it contains any radioactive contamination. So that can be done using GM counter. To check for radioactivity in metal objects in your home or office, that can be recycled radioactive materials. So these are few examples regarding applications regarding GM counters. So summary of this video. We have discussed why GM counter is more important than other detectors and what is the working principle behind that, how it was constructed and what is the working condition, what is the operating region of this GM counter. and what is the role of quenching in GM counter, how it can be self-quenched by means of adding few gases, what are the merits and demerits, and finally we discussed about the applications of GM counters. So these are the things discussed in and at this video lecture. Hope that you all enjoyed this video and have obtained some information about this GM counter. Thank you all. Thank you once again.